Good morning. Well, I am going to present the summary of the article "4 Good Reasons to Use Literature in Primary Schools." As we all know, teaching English has become really popular around the world, and it is a fact that literature can help us to develop this practice, since we can have our students developing intercultural awareness, empathy, tolerance for diversity, and emotional intelligence. By including readings in our teaching classes, we can have our students motivated and interested on the topics and interested on learning English. And since teaching a language outstands, some questions emerge about the materials because the materials should be appropriate to this to the changes of this globalized world. And sometimes literature is not used in the class because the goal is really academic and they don't use it, but they should um, have the idea of including it because we can see, for example, myths, we can see legends, we can see some stories that are used which help and teach them more than a language. And the author of this article mentions 4 good reasons to use literature. The first one is motivation. We need to have our students really motivated and interested on what we are doing. In this way, they are going to acquire the language more naturally because they are going to do something that they like and they are not going to notice it. Well, it is important to take into account that when selecting some stories, we choose the correct theme, the storyline, the language, the illustrations. They are really important elements to reach this goal or to reach the goal that we are going to have. The first one, the theme, they are going to feel identified with, I don't know, love, can be courage, or with some fears. Also, the storyline, it shouldn't be really difficult, it should be something easy. The language, since we're going to have repetitive words, they are going to acquire it more naturally. They're going to remember the words, some phrases, and the illustrations help them to have a clear idea or to imagine what they are doing. It is also mentioned an example about a professor who worked with some students and they were really interested about reading because the story had some illustrations, it was the correct context, everything was good, so they were really excited and the teacher could reach the goals that she or he had. Well, the second one is language learning. Besides entertainment, literature helps children to develop some skills and also promote the natural language acquisition. Literature provides enrichment of linguistic items and the context of communication. It really helps communication since it's full of real life examples. So when they talk, they are going to remember what they read, what they already read, and they are going to repeat it, obviously in the way they talk. Well, it also makes the students to be more aware of the target language in its written form, so they can create stories or what they like using this as a base, and they can also analyze the context and become more critical people. Third, we have the academic literacy. Well, students need to develop more than interpersonal skills and basic reading comprehension. They need to go beyond those things. And it is important to mention that students should first learn or practice the reading in their own language so they can transmit it to the second one, so they will be pleased to read in both languages. And academic literacy requires students to have critical thinking skills, which can be found in literature. That is why this is really important, and so they can uh, be good readers or writers. They can contrast and compare things. They can look for the cause and effect and things like those. The fourth good reason is literature as a change agent. Literature has the power to change people's mind and also people's attitudes. And well, children can learn how to understand themselves and can learn how to understand the other people. And it is mentioned there that maybe if they are reading a text in which a conflict is involved, they can think and look for a solution. So in real life, they are going to use it, and they can use the language that was used in the reading too. Finally, our students can learn a lot from literature. For example, they can have a personal and intellectual growth, they can be tolerant, they can develop empathy, emotional intelligence, they can learn how to make decisions. So it's like a complete learning that they are going to get from literature. And that's the main reason why teachers should take literature into account. Our students are going to acquire the language naturally. They're going to increase their vocabulary. The fluency is going to become better. They are going to develop reading abilities and also writing, and their communication is going to be better. So there are a lot of benefits which can help us to reach the goals that we established for our students. So that is why I think literature can help us with our teaching practice. Thank you very much.